Right. All right. Hi, everyone. This is Daisy here. I'm going to be talking about a few things that are currently going on in technology, biochemistry, and philanthropy, investment, etc. And this is just for you to be able to, have the information necessary to make proper decisions for yourself. Hi. Hey there. All right. So a lot of you all know me. Some of you all don't know me, but some of you all are going to definitely be knowing about me in the near future, especially with a lot that's happening in your respective industry or what's happening in your academic space, what's happening in your classroom, what's happening in your personal life, etc. So, long story short, I just wanted to give a little bit of a backdrop in terms of what's happening in the economy, what's going to be happening, and what's currently brewing, right? So, 5, 6 years ago, there was a lawsuit filed against the California Endowment for stalking and harassment, tapping of my phone, causing drama, and then facilitating right specific acts against myself and the community at large. So what ended up happening with that is they rigged the case, of course, utilizing their network, which that's okay. And then what they proceeded to do is then trying to plagiarize my work after what they did. So I want to just go ahead and give a demo of that so you all can see what's been going on, and then also let you know about what's been happening in regards to the subsequent chaos that occurred because of their actions. So, long story short, my background is in public health, okay, as well as in clinical health, clinical research, right, in regards to like social determinants of health, their impact, clinical reality, doing that, and then also a lot of direct service, so helping people. I felt like I very descriptive in regards to professional high priestess. It's just really like, oh, I write books, I help people. I'm very good at translating different systems. So a lot of you are all are going to find out about that work that I did in psychotherapy. They would call it mental health, spiritual recovery. There is an organization called California Institute for Integral Studies. They have a lot of these different like alternative programs like spirituality and mental health, PhD in what they would call existential mental health, things like that. This is what we would call that. But my reality is way more tangible in regards to the aquatic reality, right? And then its impact on learning disabilities, and then its impact on health and chronic illness, and then also to social emotional dysfunction and recovery. So I say that to say I was getting harassed a lot because of my work and things like that because I was uploaded to a neural monitoring spy technology where individuals thought it was great to like share my world, right? And it was against, my will. So because I have certain, encryption put in place, I do have training in technology, cybersecurity, things like that, network protocols, working with different languages, things like that, written scripts, algorithms, all those type of things. Because I've done all that and played, I decided, okay, well, let me put this on the internet so people can start to see what's going on. So this is why you all are here to find out. Okay, so that's what they've been doing and harassing you, and then this is what they've been trying to hide, and then this is like the subsequent political chaos that happened behind that. So this channel really, for some of you guys watching, you'll hear me like have fun, laugh. Sometimes I'll may say like a bad word or two. It's because this is a small community of people that are using this as a repository to find out about what's going on in their job, their community, their department, their product market, right? So they can handle their business, right? A lot of stuff is coming out about immigration, people's families, farming, things like that. That's what this page is for. So there's a lot of different stories that you guys are going to find here. Okay, so welcome, right? So I wanted to let you know that first and foremost. Now, I also wanted to let you know that as a part of this whole display of, you know, what's been happening in regards to philanthropy changing because of this specific situation, creating a ripple effect where because the California Endowment decided to harass me, it came out, right, that they were involved in other illicit acts. It exposed this specific network amongst the philanthropists. Individuals thought that they were going to get a job working at a foundation or get a job working at an organization or whatever by getting involved in harassing me, etc. And then they were utilizing their network and then trying to recruit people because the people around them had seen their true colors in their hand. And because of the political climate in their countries and in our community and globally in different spaces, it culminated into a big chaos where a lot of the foundations are scrambling because the stock market is tumbling. There's going to be not really economic recovery. There's going to have to be a restoration of the public infrastructure. So the money they thought that they were going to put into hiring a bunch of white folks, things like that, destabilizing the economy, like, oh, we maybe jobs, things like that. That's not going to be able to happen because they have to repair the system, the copper system from mining Bitcoin. They have to repair the water. They have to figure out how to fix chemistry that they broke, funeral care, cremation supplies, and then a bunch of other stuff that's going on that they don't really actually understand, right? So now what's happening here is okay, we didn't know that that much was going on with the California endowment, and that's what they invoked, and this is what's been happening. So there's a document that you all are going to see regarding 37 file. I know, just read it, right? I read it a lot, right? Because I'm constantly like reflecting on what is compiled there, right, in that shell script called a Google Doc, and what conspire for that to be executed in a reality that to then make it into a synchronized document. Okay. Okay. All right. Sorry, you all. And then again, that's again what's currently going on with different networks also being uploaded to Neuralink. So I'm sorry for the delay in packet loss, but for the most part, what I was saying is that this is what's currently been going on, and that's what's happening. And the foundations were scrambling too because a lot of them got exposed and keeping it up and causing drama and trying to hide what happened and what was going on behind the scenes, and a bigger plot implanted to defraud the immigrant community and the farm movement and the land justice movement. They ended up bringing out a lot of the people that they used and put in place to get grants and claim that they were doing this work and that work to really monitor the movement. Then again, Earth Island Institute, they got involved. They got exposed. Different fiscal sponsors got exposed. They got exposed for money laundering. Marcus Foster Institute, they got exposed. A lot happened too intricately within the community in terms of the battles and the fights and people picking sides and choosing sides. And it was three things that happened within the social justice community over the past 10 years, wherein people got more commercialized, people chose sides, people sold out, people allowed certain things that shouldn't have been allowed, people left. Now what's happening here is then the biggest thing that's gone on since then is a few deaths that have happened, and then of course what happened with Black Lives Matter, and then what happened with them subsequently falling off in front of the community because of what they did with money and that they were being messy. So now one of the things that's going on here is with the foundations, and what you're going to see with the work is they were involved in the economy tanking. You all have saw the economy going on with the tech community. Excuse my language. Want to stay on track here. The tech community. There's a website here, layoffs.fyi, and you can see all the different companies that lost a bunch of money. They had to fire a bunch of people, things like that. Remember, these foundations, investment companies, etc., they take stake in these companies. So now that the company fell off because of what they were doing, they don't have anything new. They were looking for what's their next thing. That's how this started. So you created all that calamity, right? Martha Jimenez, Robert Ross, and then you turn around and then harassed her and then try to get access to her work. I mean, people barricading themselves into apartments in my building or neighborhood, sneaking into my apartment with sound technology and chemicals to try to upload me the technology to allow a specific frequency modulation to occur by adding a specific app to my phone that would allow a specific script to run that would produce that frequency modulation and project certain frequencies into my field. So this is like what was going on. And now you guys are seeing the backstory to that and what's happening. So that's a lot that's on this channel. What subsequently blew up globally because of what they did, and you get to see the fallout of that. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about like what we have here in regards to the coding systems. Then you all can ask me a little bit more because I feel like it's just time to start working, right? I'm excited. I feel like they showed their hand. Oh, I forgot to tell you, the biggest thing that got like exposed is that their staff member that started this, he's a rapist and a serial killer. His girlfriend that helped him start this, they didn't tell you that she was doing match calling me because she thought that Castle liked me. because he was like playing like, oh, look at this young woman and this, I can do this and that. And she had gotten fired as a probation officer, things like that, disgraced her career. So she depended on him. They didn't tell you that her family started Detroit and Chicago riots, and because of what she did, she submitted in a photo journal project to Columbia University for Black History Month, and it got removed because of her family's name. Right, that's what they were trying to hide, and that Willie Brown, his hand, and the whole Black Boule, their name got exposed behind that, all the way before W.E.B. Du Bois, the original ops on the plantation. Right, that sold out, still involved with the Confederacy. There's a book called Black Confederates. That's what came out. Yeah, so now we're seeing, okay, so that's what happened. All that had to come out. And then also they were switching people's kids at birth. Martha Jimenez and her group against this Spanish indigenous families that had fought in the different civil wars that America and different special interest groups had started for Dole, Goya Foods, and other, companies. So that's a lot going on, and that's they played with magic and it came out. And I have a lot of evidence and information. I mean, people emailing me, even police. I had gotten arrested because I reported one of them. They said I committed a robbery, right? For taking a phone and submitting it. That's okay. I expect them to do that because when they harassed me at one point, 4 police officers died within 24 hours in LAPD Sheriff's Office, Los Angeles Sheriff's Office. It's in the news. The next time they did that, 8 Supreme Court justices, right, had to get removed from the Mexico Supreme Court, which you all are seeing now. That's happening now. So when they did that, it gave rise to a bunch of other things ending and coming down. So you have to know that this has been going on. Okay, so that's what's been happening. They got caught switching people's kids at birth, these families, the heavy hitters, right? The rebellion, yeah, the resistance. So they got caught doing that, and it came out in a very serious, major way. Another thing that they got caught doing was using government dollars, mainly FBI agents, DEA agents, ATF agents, getting women plastic surgery, vaginal rhinoplasty, things like that, and then to go get around hood men to glamour them into like sexual activity, then set them up in charges and set up their family. Like, oh, your family fought in Puerto Rico. Oh, tell me more. Yeah, papi. Yeah, and getting their body done. Yeah, and it came out in the news. Just watch my channel. It's all right here. That video is like from like 3 or 4 days ago. It's like the first thing that I talk about. I'm going to talk about it again, right? And pull up the thing again, the news article. So these are some of the things that the California endowment got caught doing. And then because of that, they have to shut down. So that article's in the news too. California endowment is connected to California Healthcare Foundation. That's going to come up as well. And how they're trying to save face. So I just wanted to let you know that. So these are the things that are going on. That's what they got caught in. This is what's currently happening with coding and technology. They were harassing me over chemistry work, a chemistry book that I wrote, a book that I wrote on DNA damage and indigenous DNA, and what does it actually mean to be melanated? Because there's not a lot of information like on that, like actual factual information. And then on top of that, what does that mean to be pseudo right? Meaning false melanin. So, and then what does that mean for biochemistry and pathways that are existing and not? So, there's a lot that I did with that. Then, on top of that, you can find that on my website here. You all want to go look into that. You can find that here, New Biotech, or here, or at research, right? So, there's that. That was going on. And then the layoffs at FYI website. Just wanted to show you that this exists. And it shows people like companies, how many people they have to lay off, things like that. So, you can keep on looking at this for days and days. So that's one of the things that we did. Now, one of the things that we're going to move forward in is the fact that, okay, so this with the California endowment, everybody saw it. Then a lot of people got defunded because they had their hand in it. And white supremacist foundations saw it and helped defund people. And then people that were hiding in both sides in a specific a network of families that get involved in very illicit things that you're going to find out about. They stepped in and they were involved in it the whole time because of farms. Oh, she got their families are connected to this and this and that. Let's see who she knows. Let's do this. Let's start that. Oh, she talked about this and this and that. And now look, they need my work. And the rat race to hide the fact that Department of Homeland Security reached out to me, to hide the fact that Forbes CTO Council reached out to me. Let me pull that up. Forbes CTO Council. I think that's what it's called. Right, and then somebody that's very deep in the UI technology space in the Asian community that reached out to me cold to let me know that they were watching this. A lot of people reached out to me to let me know, like, hey, yeah, a lot of people are seeing this, we're watching this, and this is going on. But those people that I mentioned earlier, the Forbes CTO folks and things like that, they're a part of the group that were trying to get into my computer and harass me and do this and do that. So they had a conference that they were hosting, and I just want you all to see this because it's just showing like, okay, so we know. So then the director, the Department of Homeland Security, the director of chemical safety, he reached out. So then on top of that, another man that reached out was uh, from the United Nations Cybersecurity and Blockchain Council. Yeah, Forbes Technology Council. Some man that had contacted me here about this, and I think it's important for people to see this. I'm going to pull this up um, because of what's going on. So, anyways, let's move forward, right? So let's move forward on this. Now, what has gone on here is here we go. No, are you? Okay, good. Here you go. Yeah, on Forbes Technology Council, and that messaged me about, do you want to come present at our conference and things like that? Like, no, not yet. We still have an opportunity to play with rituals. Like, oh, okay, and it's about to start again. Yeah, because that's what was going on. They can't activate my system. I have to show you this. There's a large part of what's going on that the endowment is trying to hide that. Daisy, no. She was like, they were telling people that I was a sex worker, that I was soliciting people. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Your girlfriend was playing with me. I reported them. I didn't know that they were serial killers. Their families were delusional, psychotic, like mixed race people that, like, were playing with colorism and white supremacy to the point where people were getting lynched and whole towns were getting set on fire and people were getting robbed, right? And like chickens, like, flying everywhere, people getting robbed and things getting stolen, chaos, right? Imagine that type of energy. And like Martha Jimenez, her legal counsel, was like very ridiculous in that she was involved in white supremacist groups in Mexico, and that's what was going on. So this is what they are trying to down. Yeah. So then another person like had reached out to me about this. I said, okay, let me send this in. Let's see, because it was a point where I didn't really know how far they were going with the magic and playing. Okay, good. Now I see. I guess they thought, yeah, Forbes Technology Council, they had played. And then you guys have already seen this Department of Homeland Security, and then the other one, the Cybersecurity Council. I just wanted to show you all this, and it's in that document, the 37 file too, because they're trying to hide that this had gone on. So, anyways, I just want to let you know that that's what's been currently going on. Okay, and they're trying to make it seem like that's not happening, that she's like crazy and imagining things that's not true, but the code works. So then what's that talk about? Like, oh, ooh, right. So these are the things that they were starting with me, sneaking into my house with chemicals, even trying to play with my doctor at certain points, causing a bunch of drama, just nonsense. They're so disgusting. They're really like getting litigated right now. So let's go ahead and look at some of these things that we're going to be building. So the biggest thing, well, I think the greatest thing that we have the opportunity to do is to create spectrum bands. So spectrum bands, they create the internet, right? Radio frequency, telephone, all of that. We can code down spectrum bands and code down like specific like satellite like anchors. There's different ways to anchor to satellites and then bring forward specific frequencies EMF that carry, different binary 0 and 1 processing. Or the system that we do have with the spectrum bands, you can use like existing EMF satellite EMF-based satellites. And then you'll be able to code down different scripts that will allow you to activate different like databases of binary 0 and 1 electrical processing. So that's one of the things that they didn't want to also let you know too, like, oh, okay, that means the computer can have a different, completely different way of processing. It can actually now do automation. Right. So this is what they've been trying to get towards. Like, okay. And then what they did instead of like, oh, okay, so that's what it's going to take. What they did was they were hacking my computer, trying to play with my work, causing a bunch of drama. Then they said, oh, we'll do trying to do rituals on Daisy. So I'm going to just keep it real with you. They are very goofy and delusional. But the endowment got all their stakeholders and investment companies and whatever together in their irrespective capacity to come and like, come and see this and look at that. When the virtual reality got turned on and people started spying on me and my work, this is what was coming out. This is what they started doing, making like languages after my name and things like that. Yeah, digital signal processing. Yeah, that's what I built out. This is nothing compared to what we can build. So one of the things now here is they're trying to get this from my computer, do that, activate this, activate that. If I print this out, feed it to a child, then molest a child, I'll activate it. Then I'll have spiritual powers. That's what they've been doing in the community. So Latifah Simon from Akanati Foundation removed as well. She had to go to a different foundation now. She's trying to be in Congress. She's getting investigated. They're going to do something ridiculous to her. The endowment, things like people like that. Castle Redmond, the person that started this, Matt Haney and his sister, all of them, they're trying to hide the fact that this has gone on and they have their hand in this, right? And then it went this far, and that white supremacist groups are playing in our community like that, creating 10 cities and then accessing them. So now we can do that and have our own internet. They can't hack it, they can't tap it at all. Okay, because you need that same science. Okay, that science is locked in space. Some of you guys keep on seeing this SHF. You've seen this several times on my phone about satellite communications. Yes. So they're trying to hide that you can do something like this. It's digital signal processing, but it's the way that we do it. And then also too, they're using radio frequency formats like GNU radio and other things that they're trying to use to take radio, AM, FM radio, mainly AM radio, and then convert that, do frequency modulation on the frequency, and then turn it into a specific frequency that will be, care proper enough to carry specific coding to have the internet. We could do that, and I've done that. And this is one of the things that's coming out that they've been starting. So let's keep on going now, right? How would we do this? It's just libraries. So you can have libraries, C++, let me see. Python is a little bit better for this one. Python libraries, they do different things. NumPy for like math, things like that, making matrices, tensor spaces. Sorry, that's really PyTorch, yeah. Computational graphs, TensorFlow, machine learning models. You can do machine learning models on your CPU. You can run a machine learning model that's like that parses a graph of a chemical in crystallography form, and then you can actually activate the crystal on your desktop. But you have to be careful because you can activate a chemical that can eat your CPU. Okay, so I was wondering what was going on with my computer. I checked for that though, because we did a coding tutorial where I activated a chemical file on my computer, and my computer was like shaking and breaking down because of the chemical was like very extreme. So that's one of the things that we can do. Wait, what do you mean? Yeah, so that's done for tapping and hacking, and the social justice community is going to get this. That's another thing, because they tapped and hacked everyone's phone in the social justice space and compromised everyone's privacy and all of our movements for years and years and years. They've compromised our movement for years. The only way that we can actually have any movement towards racial justice, which is just really separating and just you're done for, period. And the sellouts you want to play, go over there, right? So the only way we're going to have that is if we have the system where we have our own internet. And where this is completely done for. They've been trying to hide that this has come out. I have all the scripts on my computer. I have all of it. It's done. It's just sorry, not on my computer, written down and things like that, and hidden. And it's because of what they were doing, playing on my computer and starting nonsense. Yeah. Okay, so after you sue them, that's what they decided to do. Yeah, that's what they decided to do, and they're trying to hide it, and they're very unprofessional. I didn't ask anybody for any money. I didn't start anything. They tried to take my work and have other people do my work, plagiarize my work, cause drama. They didn't even get anywhere. The coding system that I put online, for electrochemistry for the body, where people can sit in front of the computer and actually get electrochemistry. So, okay, this is what I needed to jumpstart a specific aspect of my lymphatic system or nervous system, etc., to be able to even process this medication or do this or do that. They took it off the internet. Yeah, they uploaded error files. I have it downloaded on my computer. I can show you. They put error files on the website. They took it down constantly. It was constantly down. I had fight after fight. Look at GoDaddy. Fight after fight after drama after drama after drama. GoDaddy evidence. GoDaddy calls, everything. Lying, playing games, a bunch of nonsense. Yeah. Technology system that I put up here. So, digital pharmacy, fintech solution. The digital pharmacy is where you basically get the electrochemical aspect of a brand. So this is when all the drug recall started, because they saw this and they started playing. The last round of drug recall started when this virtual reality started, because they were playing with my work and playing on my computer and they can't activate it. So let's say, for instance, my patient, she has this medication. Okay, I have the digital pharmacy. I can add this script on top of the medication. It doesn't matter. It adds to the database. It's out in a specific etheric space. Quantization. You can do it in the computer. Wait, what? Yeah, and then look what's happening on the planet. I can test this in with titration. I can put this in a petri dish, or I can test this and look, its spiral valence is different. Look, its mass is different. Look, its molecular configuration is different. Yes, so that's what we can do. And then basically what you would do is you would throw up specific tensor spaces where you would put the scripts and stuff like that for the medication, and then it would concatenate, right, to the prescription or whatever that they're getting, so that they can access a deeper level in the medication. That's what they're trying to hide. It's that the chemicals are actually locked in space, and so is the phytochemical. That's like basically what I'm saying. Oh, yeah, that's what's happening with the drug recall. And that's what's happening with HIV and a bunch of other diseases that you're going to see that are going to parallel HIV, because of what they did with human meat and this group that they're in, where they have sex in their family and they spread that through the food supply. And something that they did that's very dishonorable too. They spread it something through the food supply with that whole I have sex in my family, and they're a group that does that, and then they date a bunch of people, and like you're supposed to spread this and get spiritual powers, mainly to women of color or men of color. Go sleep with them after you had sex with your family. Yeah, and it makes rare diseases. So that's another thing that's coming out too, that they're trying to hide, that's on that level coming out, that discussion, and because of what they did. So let's keep on moving, right? How did that come out? Because how they stalked me for herbs and what came out in the virtual reality that their hand got wrapped up in. On top of what I just told you with OnlyFans models getting their pages boosted up and getting their bodies done by the feds. Yeah, it's a wild, wild world out there. So this is what I put out there, and people will be able to sign up for this. And then there's another thing I have with bioinformatics that's going to rock somebody's socks off. They're playing on my entire computer. It's done. Yeah, because there's something that's coming out with this is all locked. It's indigenous physics and a bunch of other stuff that you need. How did this come out? Because they uploaded this to virtual reality and it got exposed. This is why Kendrick Lamar made that song about Drake. They're trying to hide this because all of us saw this. It started a war in Atlanta. Yeah, it started a war in Atlanta, like that. This is run by indigenous people, how we got to the planet, what's really going on, this false reality, why certain things happen here. And it's the fact that, they thought it was going to be a different database of different indigenous peoples to pick from because of the plants and stuff like that on our planet, and animals on our planet, only, and aquatic beings on our planet, mainly the aquatic being, because of the magic that they run, only to find out that that's not what happened, and it brought us here, and then they brought white supremacy to the planet too. So there's a lot with that I can't really talk about. It's what's going to end up coming out with some work that's going to come out with special education and Black and brown children that have special education needs because of their aquatic being. So that's something that a lot of Black people can relate to. Like, okay, this is going to start something else. So GIS mapping system. So spectrum bands, right? We have our own internet. We have our own phone. That's it for phone tapping and causing drama and all of that. You could take that and go over there. GIS mapping system, right? So with the GIS mapping system, this is being able to find anybody. What would we basically would do we would take a specific matrix using a coding language or a coding library that we can build. So I can have a coding library, and one of the commands can be access specific coordinate, right? So they have some of these languages, but they can't access the physical grid. They can only access simulations. Whoa. Yeah, that's the thing. We can access the physicality of it because it's ran from space. It's indigenous. It's indigenous systems are ran from space. It's just we have to just sit here and learn them. And one of the things here, it's You can talk all day, but if you know physics and you know science and you know this is real, and then we've had proof and we've seen the code work. So I mean, that's just it. So geospatial technology, you have R, where you can go ahead and make simulations of geospatial areas. You can put maps, specific maps, or you can put globes. Right? So we can go ahead and get the globe right here, and then from there, what we would be able to do is attach a matrix in code. So, okay, I attach a matrix to the matrix of the planet. And then from there, I would activate three levels of a binary reality that bring down a substance on the existing meridian. Yeah, it is damaged because of radiation. It's damaged because of people on the planet and doing certain things, metals, heavy metals in the air, all that. But we can still access it. And this is where, in certain places, we're going to have specific servers running so that we can have more access to this grid. Okay, so then how would I be able to reach somebody or find somebody? It would be their coordinates here. How would I find them? I would have to make them a binary string. That's in the specific language library that we've created. Wait, what? Yeah, I would create them a coordinate. Like, okay, when's her birthday? Okay, give me her photo. I'll put it in its binary form. Okay, great. I'll make her a coordinates. And then boom, we can find her through her coordinates. Yeah, this is there's a lot of other pathways to do it, but that's the safest one on the planet because of what you can do with this and who you can find. And can this be open for anybody? Just anybody? No, we can't. Nope. Nope, not at all. Not at all, period. So this is what they've been looking for and trying to do so they can go look for little beautiful children online and then go pick them up and molest them and talk about they're getting spiritual powers. That's what they were chasing me and harassing me for. Martha Jimenez and them at the California Endowment, they made deals like that. They'll want it for this, they'll want it for that. Okay, well, they'll have to do this and they'll have to do that. Okay, okay. Well, technically speaking, we invested in it, right? And then they had a bunch of whites running around trying to create this and then causing a bunch of drama and having a bunch of investor meetings and they couldn't create anything. It's a certain coding system that you need to do that. So then let's say somebody tries to take my computer, take the coding language libraries and go run off. What happens? I just turn it off. Because remember, it's an electrical language, right? It's running off electrical impulse. I can play in the standard model of particle physics, which doesn't respond to English. Because who told you that that's its actual name in a different indigenous language? They can have this all mapped out. Wow. And then in that indigenous language, what can I activate by speaking this? Are you sure I'm not inventing particles just by speaking the particle? So now, right, electrical impulse. So I can go in the Lepton's quark's strange charms and turn it off there because it speaks to a certain indigenous system. So now, okay, we can make that on the planet. You can make that easily. We can find whoever. It's right. Also, too, what about intention? Like in having intentional coding systems. Like my intention is to find somebody. My intention is to okay, I don't know your name, but you, it's intentional. This person that I saw at the gas station at this day, that's great that you have all of those details, but we only need a few. This is the person, this is their name, this is the name, this is their license plate, this is what they were doing, this is who paid them to follow you. So now this is what we can also do intention system. How would you code intention to the internet? Electrical impulse. It's called your terminal. You can change your TTY. What? Yeah, you can change. There's different type of TTY. There's TTYO. There's types of TTY. Yeah, but I have the code to change your TTY. It's type of TTY. Right. So you have TTYO, TTY1, TTY2. There's different type of TTY. You can upload something here and it'll change the electrical impulse processing in the BPS. So there's Linux. So there's terminal processing speed, and we can put modulations on that and change it. Yeah. So this is like what they've been trying to do with machine learning and things like that for automation, but it's not going to work. So there's terminal processing speed. It's like a BP. Yeah. And then you can even change the electricity itself, electrical impulse. So right. So okay, yes. There you go. So that's what they're going to need. They need the language, which is changed in its electrical impulse, and then you need the terminal too that's going to be able to process that. That you can make all these different coding systems. So you can turn that off. I could just turn that off. There's absolutely positively no way for them to hack, tap, play with anything. I'm telling you right now, these indigenous folks from space, they saw this planet and that's it. They're giving us this system and that's all they're going to give us. And it's up to us to save ourselves and get ourselves together because what they're going to do to white folks and people that started all this and these foundations that played, it's really crazy. Some of you guys are like, what do you mean indigenous people from space? It's because they uploaded a bunch of people of color to virtual reality and something ended up coming out that this technology is ran from space. Because how are you talking in my ear? Okay. Right. So one of the things that they're also trying to hide, like, yeah, how in their ear, it's because of a specific anatomy that belongs to indigenous people. It belongs to indigenous people. We are indigenous people. We are just in space. This is the associated aquatic being, and you share an anatomy with them and a consciousness with them. It's the aquatic being that runs any type of magic. So all these people doing rituals and this and that, they're like doing nonsense. So that's how like this is gonna end up exploding. What do you mean? It came out that people of color were indigenous. So this right here, Zwo, this planet Zorzai, this Filipino, Japanese, Afghani, Igbo, Mayan, Aztecan, Mam, Oaxaca, a few federations there. And the way in which you can prove that our federations are all connected is because we're in different parts of the planet. We all speak a different language, but our language syntax is very similar, which is going to come up in a minute. And then also, too, we all play with nutmeg, coriander, and thyme. What are you doing with nutmeg in Nigeria? Exactly. Thank you. So now this is what they're trying to hide that there's certain phytochemical pathways. Yeah. But even between us, look, we're from Nigeria. You're this group. You're this group. You guys are on a different planet. You share a similar, phytochemical pathway with this group over here. They're in this part of India. Look at this with the research from kidnapping a bunch of people and doing clinical trial testing because you ate the same urban space. That's the problem here. That's what they're trying to hide. That came out. Ooh. What? Yeah, that came out. That came out. That the endowment's trying to hide that exploded because they were involved in kidnapping people for fun and playing. Oh, their family went against us. We'll have them kidnapped. Let's buy a bunch of cars that look like police cars and go get a uniform. This will be super fun. That's what the endowment got caught doing. So much so that Ford, I believe it's Ford. Yeah, they're not selling police cars to anybody that's not police. I'm gonna find this article. I have to. No, it's not Chevy. It's Ford. Yeah, that's what they're trying to hide that this stuff like all come out. And yeah, that I don't put out my work. I'm an artist and stuff like that. I don't put out my work and things like that because they're in my computer looking to sell stuff, how to start things, make it seem like these are white children and all this other nonsense because of what they did in the special education space. This is gonna rock special education. Period. Whatever you're doing to our children, stop it. Thank you. Now we see. Yeah, taking kids out of class to molest them. This is a big thing that came out in the news too, targeting certain kids, playing with the sound technology in space. They're a special child. They have your spiritual powers. That's what they were doing. It just came out. Let me see. It was like something about a principal. I'm molesting a bunch of kids. I'm gonna pull it up from my phone, but I need to show you guys this about Ford. Yeah, going direct to consumer. No, 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 no. I have to find this article because I posted it on my YouTube before. Oh, I'm gonna find it. Yeah, because they were buying those cars, and they look like police cars, and they were kidnapping people with it, so it went up. And then there's something with that too, in this that's going on. So this is how you'll be able to find somebody. So we have people that we need to find and things that we need to start doing. Thank you. Excuse me. Bye. So what about the government getting this? Why would they get this? Let them go play with Donald. They want to go make America great again. They have time to go play over there. So this is what we're going to be doing. So now again, we need infrastructure so that we can start handling the stronger business. In this world, these foundations I want to go play, they're going to get caught. Like, oh yeah, after we started all of that, wow, because this is what we actually need. This is how they're going to get caught. Period. So now with the California endowment, what's next? They owe me in court, and I went there several times because of what they were doing. And the president came down and was like, "Oh, get on my calendar with my assistant." Ooh, so I can make it seem like I'm not involved in all the calamity that's going on in the community because I'm getting several phone calls about you. What the hell? I just thought that we were going to steal your work and hack your computer. I didn't know this was all like going to happen. So intentionality. So that means like even if you have my password, you can't type it in if it's not me. Intentionality. You can type in any password. If I allow you to, you can go ahead and do that. Yeah, intention. So the money system here, where we can take your card and then you can deposit money to a card, any card on the computer, do whatever, and you have whatever you want. But like, I mean, why just do that when we can incentivize that and have like a whole system behind that, right? So this is the biggest thing that they're trying to stop us from being able to do a money system because what's the storage of value? They are basically creating digital banks online. So let's say, for instance, like I could take, one of the things that we have here is like the different aquatic beings and all that I told you about. They have created systems because they run protocols. So they created a specific protocol for us to have our own digital system based off of like money system, based off of like who you are and what you do. Like you guys saw that social credit. Like, okay, anybody can get on, right? That's great. You can all get on. You're getting $15,000 because they try to traffic you and your daughter and they did all this. Here you go. This is the victim of a crime money that they owe you. Okay, great. They stole your family's farm. Here's the money. Go get a new farm. This is how the rectification is going to come. Or we can sit here and we can just divvy out the money ourselves, or we can build that intentional system. I think it's super dope. It sounds super crazy, but it's here. The coding system is here because we've been playing with it the whole entire time. So now what happens here is, oh, okay, you have to make the library, then you have to change the TTY, then you can get those type of systems. They're locked because it belongs to indigenous people in space. What? This is gonna start so much. Why would you even be playing with that? Yeah, you sound crazy playing with that. Like it's like you're like putting your hand in fire and asking not to be burnt. So here we go. Ford no longer making sales to the public. I'm gonna find this again. They're trying to scrub it from the internet. They're so annoying. They do it constantly. So if you all want to go on my website and go find out more about what they've been doing, how they've been trying to steal my work, this one is a big one too. Urban planning and what's going on right now with pool lagoons and water and them knowing about this, especially Mexico City and the water getting damaged like that. Oh no. Because of their behavior, you're gonna keep on going. Yeah. Yeah. So my biggest thing is like trying to get this out and then that with the kids in the aquatic anatomy. Yeah. Phytochemical fuel cells will be able to, expand the valence structure. So instead of getting, like a barrel of oil that's like 3 valence that will maybe power up like, 6 cars, right? I can, right? If I split the barrel up and it can power 6 cars, full tank, things like that, right? That can maybe get me like maybe 16 miles per gallon because of the quality of the fuel. I can expand the valence to 8. I can get like 42 miles per gallon, right? And then I can get, that in 8 cars. So this is what they're trying to hide, that this had come out and that they were trying to hide that this, is work that we can do, but they couldn't do it. And they were running around playing games and doing rituals on children, saying that we can get spiritual coding powers. And this is where they have the pigmentation conference. And these people that are involved in this playing with the black and brown community. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, just be aware that that's happening. So we're moving forward in that. So now you all have seen like, okay, so they've been reaching out to you, so they know. So they've been contacting you, so they know. Yes, and then that 37 file. If you guys look through that, you'll see different people contacting me because they know. Like they know what's going on. They saw what's going on, but they also know that there's a conversation that has to happen in terms of what came out in the virtual reality. You have to see what happened. That's why these people are also contacting me like, oh, okay, Daisy, like I just want to let you know I saw that because of the virtual reality. So when you look at that 37 file, that's what you're gonna see. And then remember, I told you guys I got arrested and I was in custody and all this was going on. After I gotten arrested, the officer had given me documentation and it had something to do with that 37 file while I was in custody. But I just want to say that the individual that sparked this, they removed all their, posters and stuff from downtown because of what they did in the arts community. Yeah, I don't put my work online, nothing. I feel like I have like three more kids books that I'm about to put out. I have like all my ideas. It's just like brewing. I have like a whole other deck. I make decks. I made like eight of these, different like tools and stuff like that. I want to put all my stuff out. I've written books. I have like four books I'm supposed to put out that I'm writing. I'm almost done with. I have like four textbooks for academia. Even McGraw Hill was playing in my computer, that the kids are going to need for change. I put out a class on spiral chemistry. They were looking for my class, looking for my work. Look at chemistry now. Chemistry's dead and chemistry's like gotten blown up. So, I did a conference. I'm looking to do more education, more teaching, but for the most part, that's what's been going on. You all have to just find out. So now you're going to be seeing what's going to be happening, in the days, weeks, and months to come. And I just want to let you know that there's going to be a link to a tutorial on chemical servers. So I'm going to show you how chemical servers work from space and how they turned off the chemical in the spiral valence. Because we're in the chemistry we're using on the planet, which is broken, we're looking at the valence as like a circle, but it's actually a spiral, meaning I continuously like go on and I can be programmed and I can go backwards or forwards as a spiral. I can go upside down as a spiral or front side up as a spiral, right? There's a bunch that you can do with chemistry, and that means different things, orientations, right? So now one of the things that's coming up here is like, I was trying to get that out. They were playing, harassing me, blocking my email, starting stuff. Let's see if we can sell this and sell that. We can be big. They had Bell Labs in my computer. CERN was in my computer. They're so ridiculous. Like a bunch of these different white supremacist groups, and they work in science and they don't know what they're doing. And they caused all these recalls and got retraction. The president of Stanford got fired. Retraction because they didn't know what they were doing. They were lying in their paperwork, and they ended up exposing the fact that they were kidnapping a bunch of black and brown people through stalking social workers in the social justice space to gain access to people, large amounts, and then individual people where they can like unravel large groups of children over a period of time by targeting social workers, getting in our phone, getting on our computer, and doing all of that. And the endowments involved in that. And now look at this with the computer, and our community can have something. And then also too, one of the biggest things too was like what can happen for textiles, materials, chemistry. Like, we can have our own chemical businesses and do this and do that and all that other stuff, right? Because we have this chemistry program that we can use to cut up the chemicals. None of the chemicals can be cut. That's the big thing with fentanyl. Fentanyl can be used in actually making like materials. It's for material science. Yeah, so it's just it couldn't cut down properly, so it broke down into fentanyl, and you can keep on breaking it down further into other things. A nail product is another thing. So there's something that's going to happen with nail polish in a few weeks and a few months, right? So these are all the things that are breaking down that don't have to because the endowment thinks that they're going to get in my computer and then we're going to have a magical cure to all that we created because we embarrassed ourselves chasing and harassing Daisy. You're going to get access to the docket. You're going to find proof of the phone tapping, the wiretapping. Now you see who's been doing it. So I think the biggest thing here is just to know that we have plans, for the community. I wanted to show you about the biotech work, especially for planting and seeds, and then what happened in the Amazon, and then also, farming regeneration, and then also making sturdy crops. There's things that we can do now. There's things that we can do now. We can work in the soil network now. We can edit the soil network now. Some of you guys don't know that some of the soil network is like, a woman and like her the curl pattern of her hair, and she says, "Oh, I can use this as a soil network." Ooh, and then they make their own planets. This is like a thing that Indigenous women do in space, and then they create plants. All these plants and herbs that we're eating, they belong to different Indigenous peoples in space, and they're cursing people. Something's going to come out about cannabis too. I'll talk about that a little bit later. So now, one of the things that we're going to start doing here is I'm going to start like fundraising, and let's see, who's going to like, come out. I haven't been out in like 5 years. I'm just going to start like, okay, do you have funds to put into this so we can build this and that? Okay, that means that you want to keep this going. Okay, but no one's doing anything else. I mean, like everyone wants to work and things like that, but we need to move forward in this too. And that's one of the things that's coming out too. But like, this is what we want to work on. Right? So I say that to say that, they're stalling us and they know that as well too. So let's keep on going. So now I think like one of the things that you guys are going to come and see here, and also for my subscribers, I just put up a GoFundMe because I just got tired of it. Like, okay, let's just go put the system out. Let's see what we can go do. What we can start like starting. I haven't shared this or anything, so you guys can all see here about my story, what ended up happening, the system that we're trying to put out for chemical management, healthcare, things like that. What we can do, you all can go ahead and donate and support. But I feel like we can get good support and the next few weeks we can start moving towards something because it's done. I feel like everything's gonna end. Child sex trafficking ends. Racism, it ends. White supremacy, it ends. And even it's so crazy that this is coming now in the middle of this whole thing with the Donald Trump presidency because people are finding out about this and like, oh, they wanted us shaking and scared. And look what we have in front of us. Why be scared? Why be involved in that? Why focus on that? We have great things coming towards us. Let's focus on that. So, anyways, you all, thank you so much for listening and for watching. I hope this helps. I hope you find an opportunity to help the fundraiser. I'm going to go ahead and just put it in the chat box. You please stay on the channel, watch the news that we post on here, join the tutorials. They're really fun. Comment, put yourself in the comment section. Hey, where are you from? Let's team up. Let's work together. Share your handles. I think I need to make one of those type of platforms where people can do stuff like that. So let's start really moving and working. The biggest thing though with the fundraiser is I'm coming to your city. So it's not that much, $60,000. I need to get 12 laptops. I need to get 12 people trained in the system, divvy out the handbooks and everything like that, right? I need to get the language libraries made because I have them written down. We're all going to get them parsed out. The network managers, each of them have to type it up so that they have their library. And is it like, oh, different ones? No, they are getting their own library, but it's each of them are going to have it like in their own specific space because of what's currently going on, right? So then on top of that, the network people that want to join, they have their own language library, right? That they want to make so they can make their own library. Because you have to commit to doing something too. You just can't come here like, oh, I'm with the computer. You have to build something too, right? A lot of people have their companies that they want to build and this and that. There's already existing companies like, hey, JC, I have like 500 staff, but I would love to be like, a part of this. Okay, you're a network engineer. Here's a laptop. It's secured. Your device is secured. Okay, this is what I need you to do. You have this money system, right? Okay, so at least 20 people that know people that need money, that need farms, that need jobs, other countries. Okay, give them $3 million and then let me know what you do with that money in 2 weeks. All right. And I don't want to hear from you until then. All right, there you go. And if you need some seeds, let me know. And then this is like what we're going to be working on and doing and moving. And then the biggest job right now is cataloging what's still on the planet in regards to phytochemicals. Because there's a phytochemical on the planet that's very serious for funeral care. And then there's also something else that's like really like a very serious disease, a slew of serious diseases that can be nipped in the bud immediately. But we have to organize the phytochemicals, and it's certain plants that have agreed to be merged with each other to then grow, to then become, the phytochemical. And the yield time, what are you talking about? Like some of these plants can like take months and months to yield. No, they do it in space. They have systems. Yeah. So you can make it go faster and things like that. And this is how I was getting sprouting time in like 4 days, and you sprouted already. Whoa. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and share that project with you guys that I did in my apartment where I grew certain herbs and things like that and playing with phytochemicals and different like chemical reactions and monitoring them and like writing down notes and having my different like boards all around and taking pictures and stuff like that. I'm gonna show you guys all that. So I'm gonna put it together in like a little, think about doing like maybe poster board fair or something like that. IHI is coming up, right? I'm excited about that. So it's for that, right? Network managers. And then coming to your city and state, we'll train. Okay, I'm here for 5 days. Okay, every single day that I'm here, we are getting a room for of at least 50 to 100 to 200 people. I need but way more than that, but just to like start into training you guys, letting you guys know what happened, what's going on in your city, in your area, putting together all the different stories, and then gathering your stories, what's going on with your prosecutor. Okay, who needs to get on the computer and find documents for the most pressing cases in your city? That's like what we really, really need to get together to do. $60,000 can do that. We can get that done in the next couple of months. Also, with the internet, it's another system that I'm not going to really talk too much about, but it's to find any document on any protocol being moved left and right. And then if you know SQL, you can use like different like wildcards or like statements. Like I need a document that's like this. I need a photo that's like this. So, right, right. I need a case number that's like this. Let's say you know like a few of the case numbers. And then from there, you can bring up a table that has all this table, this table, this table, this table, this file has this and this and that. And then from there, you can parse out and find what you want on the internet. And that's how it's going to stop with the Department of Justice and the Department of Defense. That's how it's going to stop. And this is what you guys keep on hearing me talk about with the Donald Trump presidency. I'm not a Republican. I don't believe in white supremacy. But I'm watching what they're doing, and because of this kid switch that birth coming out, and these families that they have sex in their families and they do very illicit delusional things that you're hearing about, they basically like created the framework for people to deal with them. Also, because that Havana syndrome, anomalous health effects playing in people's ears. Some of these agents, they're not white supremacists; they're just whites, right? So they went bad on them. So they have to go deal with that now too. So that's one of the things that's coming up to with Donald. Them, they know that they cannot play at all. That lady, Pamela Bondi, she's already been contacted. She's made several phone calls. Yeah, something about kids switch that birth. Okay, whatever they're doing, cut it out. Yeah, yeah, because she heard about white women in rural areas, children getting switched at birth. Yeah, and getting kidnapped because Russian women can no longer supply babies because they devolved because they were having sex in their family, and then those are the women they were getting from different countries and stuff like that too, and that had to stop. So we can start doing the trainings, things like that. No, we need to be in person because some stuff it has to be in person, and then we need to get on the computer. And that's another thing too, like why I need to train the network managers, right? Because they need to bring in people that okay, in each city state we need to get together, and then you got these people that can run this computer. Okay, then boom, I have five more people under each network manager, and then you guys can go ahead and do these circles. Okay, great, because stuff is still going on. Right, so that's what we need to start moving towards in the next 25 days. We're talking about Donald Trump. That computer is nothing. I mean, really, Donald Trump, they know that their presidency, they know. Period. There's nothing that they can do. They can't play with us at all. They know who they have to go to war with, and they're about to go deal with these fake whites, these fake white allies, and these incest families that were switching people's kids at birth and playing games with umbilical cord and kidnapping white women for in vitro. And there's something coming out too with that Idaho student stabbing and how they played those white families. Yeah, they're looking for justice. So, I mean, people felt shift, literally, right, by Kamala Harris and her administration. So they're about to deal with her. People don't want to deal with Donald. I don't care about racism because Daisy. And what is this about? A different fish in space? I see what these experiments have been about because Area 51 and Department of Defense they got themselves caught up playing with different aquatic beings. And if you study medicine or biochemistry, there's a lot of research about like different like aquatic beings and the different like chemicals that they create. Why are you playing with fish? So right, that's all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you for watching. Bye.